Hi, and welcome to Rear Window Reflections, where we are helping you to improve your vintage life. And the topic of today's discussion is rolling your vintage hair out every day. It's not easy and it takes a commitment, but what you'll find is that some people will spend a lot of time on their makeup and minimal time on their hair. And then there are people on the other side of the spectrum, where they will spend a lot of time on their hair and not a lot of time on their makeup, and that's me. So that's where you are going to find out where you land. If you want to spend enough time on your hair in order to roll out vintage do's on pretty much a daily basis, then this video is for you. So I have just a couple of pieces of advice. A lot of people ask me at the shop, where I'm a hairstylist, where do you find the time to do all these hairdos and how long do they take you? And my average vintage updo on myself will take me anywhere from half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on what I choose. But I spend maybe 10 minutes doing my makeup. So the getting ready routine doesn't take me really any longer than it takes somebody else, but I choose where I spend that time. So if you want to do your vintage hair every day, but you feel like it's going to take too much time or you don't really know how to go about it, I have just some pieces of advice. First piece of advice is allow enough time in the morning in order to get it done. So I wake up earlier than a lot of other people not earlier, like I don't get up at 6 a.m. in order to be somewhere by 10, but I do allow myself enough time in the morning in order to do my hair the way that I want to get it done. So I will wake up leaving plenty of time to get the hair done, because that's where I want to spend like the majority of my time when I'm getting ready. So if you are somebody who really likes their sleep and is not willing to take the time in the morning in order to do a proper vintage hairstyle, then this kind of hairstyling on a daily basis probably isn't for you. But if you are willing to take the time in the morning in order to do it and do it right, and allow yourself a couple of minutes of this isn't working, then you'll be in really good shape. My next piece of advice is to plan ahead. So I will think about the hair that I'm going to do like the day before. So I always know when I wake up in the morning what I'm going to be doing in terms of my styling. It saves me time in the morning. I already know what I'm going to wear and I know what I'm going to do when I get up. So I don't stand in front of the mirror and take a bunch of time trying to figure out what I'm going to do, because I find that leads to a bad hair day almost exclusively for me personally. So I have to wake up with a plan. I know which one I'm going to do. I get up and I do it. Next thing you want to really think about is, since it does take you some time to do this kind of styling, don't shampoo every day. Oh my gosh, if I had to shampoo, blow dry, and then style, that I would never make it. I would never make it. Not only would I be completely overheated, which would be a drag in itself, but your hair's super clean all the time. And when your hair is clean, it's not going to do what you want. You need like some dirt. You need some grit in there in order for vintage styling to really kind of hang on. And that for me means shampooing once a week. That way I get a nice good buildup of hairspray. You know, got some stuff in my hair. Hair's got some, it's got some grit, it's got some hold to it, and it's not just smooth and sleek. And that makes it so much easier. So not only am I not completely sweating in the morning, but I don't have to worry about hair that's so clean, it just lays flat and smooth and doesn't do anything that I want. It's got to have something to hold on to. So as you build up those layers of like grime and hairspray, it's actually so much better. I know sometimes for people who shampoo every day, it sounds kind of gross, but shampooing and blow drying would also add like an extra half an hour to my styling. And if I'm doing a style that takes me about 45 minutes, a little more complex, I do not want to add another half an hour onto that by shampooing and blow drying. Oh no. Oh no. So I'll do my hair, I will live with it during the day, and then I'll go home and I'll brush it out and I'll just put it up into a high perky pony, because I love a high ratted pony. And then the next day I'll start all over again. So I don't sleep in it, even though I did when I first started. If I rolled out like a really great bang or something like that, I would sleep in it. But now I just take it all out, brush it, give the hair a rest, and then do it the next day. Which actually leads me into my next point, which is give it a rest. I work a 4-day work week at the salon. I have Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off. And on those days, if I'm just gonna be like hanging at the homestead, like me and the dogs watching television, which is what I really like to do on my days off, I am the laziest person ever when it comes to my days off. And if I could lock myself in the house like a hermit, just me and the remote, well, that's what I want to do. If I'm wearing my yoga pants while I'm doing that, probably not going to take the time to, you know, roll out this big updo. Not to mention the fact it's not totally conducive to like laying around on the couch. So, on my days off, I will just put it up into, again, high, perky, smooth pony, and I'll give it a rest. Curling irons, bobby pins, all this stuff is really, really hard on your hair when you're using them a lot. So in order to kind of save my ends a little bit and to save all those places where I tend to use pins a lot so that I don't end up eventually like sawing off my hair almost, I will not do my hair on days that I don't really have to. And it saves my hair some stress. It saves my scalp some stress, because when you're taking that hair down after a full day of being up and like really done, scalp's kind of sore a little bit. It's not an easy way to wear your hair all the time. So on the days that I can give it a rest, I will. It'll save your ends. Your hair will be much happier for it. And my last piece of advice is don't do a full set all the time. And what I mean by full set is you don't need to take and like curl in like the pin curls, let it cool, and then take it out. You don't have to do that all the time. Curl as you go, like section by section, because there may be some sections where you don't need to curl it first, because you're just going to be curling it within like another section. Like this hairstyle right here is a perfect example. So this whole section right here doesn't need to be curled first. So I put this part up, and then the part that hangs down in the back, I just curled that with the rest of the back of my hair. Because doing a full set takes a lot of time. And a lot of times you don't need to curl all that hair first. You can curl as you go. You can take bigger sections if you're going to be like pinning it. You don't have to do the whole full thing. At the shop, I will do that on an updo client. I'll do the full set because it makes it easier for me to manipulate somebody else's hair. But if you don't need to do that at home when you're rolling your hair out on a daily basis, don't do it. Anything that you can do in order to save yourself some time, definitely do it. I always recommend taking shortcuts on yourself if you can. And you'll learn that as you go. That just comes with practice. And that's it. So thanks for joining us here on another scintillating installment of Rear Window Reflections, umbrellaed under As the Curl Turns. Join us next time for more vintage tips and tricks.